Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. This is the December 27th edition, so a little bit more than a week to be had. Maybe they moved things around or aired at different times due to the holiday season, but the December 27th edition, I believe the next day is the air date of the Kerry versus Flair match in a cage, but suffice to say, this is the beginning of the Christmas night festivities. Took place the same night, but aired on different days, television-wise. Anyway, the Von Erichs are talking about the foundation of the World Six-Man Tag Team Championships, which eventually become a touring attraction, so to speak, across the NWA, but primarily here in Texas is where they're located. And the Von Erichs talk about having something for the brothers, something for everybody to appreciate and acknowledge. And then also there's talk about the David Von Erich stepping in for Buddy Roberts. Buddy Roberts supposedly caught in inclement weather, unable to appear on Christmas night. Don't know whether that was true or whether it just played into the story. I'm inclined to believe that it played into the story because, well, it's a better story that way than if Buddy's there and all three Freebirds beat down on the Von Erichs. But anyway, we move into the six-man tag team, I guess, final, which is the Sharps, Ben and Mike. Mike Sharp, of course, perennial enhancement talent for the WWF from probably about 86, 87 through the mid-90s. And but he did have a career before that, including here in Texas. Michael Hayes, the Freebird, telling us that his brother from a different mother, Buddy Roberts, is stuck in traffic, and so they have asked, or David Von Erich has stepped forward to be their partner for this event. Obviously, there's only two matches on this card, the second of which will be a very quick review because it is a Battle Royal, which I'm not going to call a whole Battle Royal. Number one, because it's inconsequential. Winner of which doesn't really matter in the long run. And number two, because there's too much to call, and so I will just give Cliff Notes of the Battle Royal when it gets here, but the Von Erichs and the Freebirds are about to go on a collision course off the events of what happened on Christmas night 1982, but to see David aligning with them, to see David aligning with them literally what would amount to about a couple hours, probably, maybe even less, from the issues with Kerry and everything that's coming there, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But to see that, it's just kind of, it's an extra way to build heat. Mike Sharp looks, sharp. Kevin Von Erich, who actually is, I don't know why it lists David as the as being involved in this. I should be saying Kevin because he's who's in the ring. Or, no, that is David. My mistake. Human error here. The reason I have Kevin on the brain is because there is a photo staring at me of him in other areas. Anyway, so David, does what he can, is battling back against the Sharps and their partner, and really, rather dominant in the match. Mr. Steele, their partner, and dominant in the match. Terry Gordy finally tags in. Gordy, the most powerful guy in the process. Big body drop on Steele. Would have been easy for him to end the match there, but he doesn't. Goes for several knee drops and suplexes. Gordy, really a dominant guy. Probably one of the best big men, if not the best big man in the business in 1982. Certainly in the top three anyway. And And I did not grow up around Terry Gordy, so I'm seeing his world-class run for the first time with all of you. For those of you who haven't seen it, I imagine a good number of my listeners might be under the 30 demographic. That's part of why I'm doing this, to have an audio history of pro wrestling television as best we can. We can't have everything, but we can have as much as possible. My goal is to literally have tens of thousands of these by the time we're done. Anyway, Hayes from the second rope with a really intense elbow or elbow drop, and looks like he could gain the victory. Does not gain the victory there. Hayes comes back. We do see a pole in the corner for the pole battle royal later. So obviously that is not invented by Vince Russo, despite what everybody wants to believe. David back in. Drop kicks and the like on his part. And is completely, well, not completely, but more so in control. We then see Michael Hayes on the apron and comes back into the ring. He is a house of fire. I think Michael is underrated from a impact standpoint. It's just my personal opinion, but Michael Hayes, at least in 1982, just as good a wrestler as a lot of guys today would be. Maybe he, roughs up in the coming years, but at least in 1982, in terms of charisma, Michael Hayes has it. Big bear hug spot by Iron Mike Sharp in the middle, but Michael breaks free, gets what he needs to get, and Terry Gordy comes in, runs roughshod over everybody. Gordy broken down again. David wants to make the tag. The fans want the tag to be made, so everything is going in accordance with the Freebirds and David Von Erich looking like they're going to win the match, although this is a much different level of match, treated like a championship match, even though the Sharps are probably not considered to be what most people would be considered to be champions, but the Freebirds and David do win. The Freebirds are granted 1/3 of the six-man tag team championships given to them by David Von Erich in a post-match interview where he basically says the brothers should hold the championships, and he respects the Freebirds, appreciates the Freebirds, and kind of a heartwarming moment. And again, I said this in an earlier audio, but really makes me wonder about what would have happened had the Freebirds stayed baby faces. We go to a locker room interview with David Manning, the referee for the Pole Battle Royal. He explains that folks can be eliminated by pinfall, submission, or by the benefit of... So the championship or the win can be obtained through pinfall, submission, or through throwing your opponent over the top rope. Final three, it does go down into a regular style match. So kind of confusing rules, proof that 1980s can be just as confusing as the 2000 era. But anyway, Battle Royal rules basically with some add-ons, bells and whistles. King Kong Bundy reiterates his free agenthood at the beginning of this Battle Royal, and the match goes quite a bit. Ken Mantell on the outside of the ring, but only because he goes through the middle rope partway through. And we see the match break down into normal Battle Royal chaos. Unfortunately, this goes on for several minutes because unless you're there live and you are really invested in all the stars, this is boring as heck. It's punch kick. It's completely missable. Al Madrill, a big part of this. And again, with $10,000 on the line, kayfabe-wise, then you would assume everybody is doing their best to make everything go according to plan here. The climbing of the pole only left for the last three guys. Otherwise, everybody dumped out over the top, and Madrill is not part of that. The final bunch. The final bunch does include Ken Mantell, your eventual winner, steps out of the ring and cuts a ridiculous promo where he says that an extra $10,000 will make his family's life easier, but doesn't really have any direct ways to note this fact or to make it seem sensical. Just says that it's going to change their lives and yada yada. He holds the check up to the camera many times, although we can't see much of it. But that is the close for the 27th. What follows is December 28th TV, which is the Ric Flair Kerry Von Erich cage match. That is, I believe, I'm pretty sure, the only match on the program. So that's, worth taking a look at. If you haven't seen it before, go watch that match. Really, really good. Probably one of the more historic things in world class. Anyway, till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.